Some people in like those more freshman populated residence halls, and they're the room with the TV. Their doors always open, and they're
And
just
that
like,
was us.
come. Hello, and welcome back to Journeys to College and Beyond. Of all the rites of passage on the journey to college, nothing compares to moving into your first room away from home. And for many, that's a college residence hall. You're living on your own, you're sharing a space with a roommate, you're keeping yourself fed, and you're building friendships and all these memories I look back on very fondly. But let's get a current student's perspective. We're talking housing on the pod today with junior and social media marketing intern with University Housing, CyAnne. Welcome, CyAnne.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy to have you. I'm excited for this episode. Housing is a very interesting topic. So, CyAnne, why don't you give us, I introduced you a little bit, but why don't you introduce yourself and share a little about your major, you're in school, what you're studying?
So, my name is CyAnne. I'm a junior, currently studying business administration with the focus in marketing. That's pretty much a little bit about me.
Amazing. Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with housing in general. As I mentioned, you're a social media marketing intern with University Housing. What is that role like? Do you run their social medias?
Yeah, so I do run the social media primarily. We have a team of interns also, which would include like other videographers, graphic designers,
Cool.
social media assistants, which is me, and then someone else that I work with. We have a team of interns that work with a team of supervisors to just put things out there, such as like social media content, the graphics, the flyers you see within the housing buildings on those TVs. And basically, that's pretty much what it is. But I kind of just enjoy it because I'm getting experience in the marketing field, and I am mostly interested in digital marketing. So it's like a hands-on experience, even if somebody doesn't get an internship, it would be like a good first job experience for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It sounds like a fun job, too.
Yeah, because you kind of have like freedom to just create whatever content you see out there and like remake it for housing purposes. So
that is so fun.
Yeah.
Housing, it feels like they're like the kind of content you would get. It's, I don't know, it feels like there's lots of stuff happening with housing all the time, like events. You guys have all the dining halls and stuff like that. It feels like there's no shortage of content to get there. So keeping on the housing conversation, everyone's experience obviously is different with student housing, but in a nutshell, can you describe university housing and your experience with it?
I would say university housing has been very resourceful. There's a lot of like amenities that come with living in housing that you probably won't necessarily experience if you're living in an apartment, either on campus or off campus. It would just be like a little bit more extra expenses to think about and consider. So, just living in housing is very resourceful, like just going to the gym or always knowing that you'll have like a meal plan to go to the dining hall available or whatever retail space is open at the moment. So that's pretty much what it is to me. Yeah, it's a lot of perks to it. So
and all of the different spaces, I feel like they offer something unique. So what buildings do you have experience living in or spending time in on campus?
So living in my freshman year, I lived in PAR, which is the Pennsylvania Avenue Residence Hall.
Right.
I lived there, and so far, like right now, ever since my sophomore year, I've been living in Daniels Hall, which is one of the graduate upper division halls, basically for sophomores and up. The time I spent in there, it's been very peaceful and very quiet. I know that PAR is like a almost predominantly like first year dorm or residence hall. So, it's kind of like that first year experience. You kind of experience all the wild things, the good things, bad things. Like, that's kind of how it is. But living in Daniels so far, like it's been pretty quiet because, that's where like the graduate students are, the older students are. Everybody's pretty much in their own space there. So I really love it, and I'm going to be there next year again.
That's great.
As far as the rest, just spending time in, I probably spent time in most of the dorms, just having friends that live in the other dorms. And, just yeah, just having friends that live there and just going to different events that are hosted in different dorms, like ISR, which is Illinois Street Residence Hall. A lot of the RSOs that I'm in, they tend to host events there. So I do spend time there. And then also living in Daniels, the resident hall is right there and the dining hall is right there. So I can just cross the street if I'm hungry and get food.
That's a really special thing that I discovered when I moved on campus. I think in my mind when I'm thinking about college, I don't have that experience yet. I kind of assumed that all of the housings were a little bit more separated and you couldn't go get like lunch at this, dining hall, and then you could go to like a pizza party at another dining hall or residence hall, and you can kind of like mix and match. So taking it all the way back to the freshman vibes of like that first day moving into university housing, what was that day like for you? What were your thoughts and your feelings? Do you remember that day?
It feels so long ago. But the first day like moving in, I think it was pretty cool for me because I didn't move in on the official like move in day. I did an early move in program. So I feel like it was less hectic for me as like the official move in days would be for anybody else, because on official move in days you have everyone in the university moving in versus like early move in. It's a lot of people, but it's not as many people as it would be. So I just remember like people directing cars on where to go, telling people they had like time limits on the parking spots, just trying to search for like those little buggies to pack their stuff up in,
little like laundry cart,
the little cart. Yeah, it wasn't as hectic as I've seen move-in days be for like the official move-in days. But the early move-in for me, it was a pretty smooth process, especially since I had like a lot of family come out and like help me move in. I also was one of those freshmen that had a lot of stuff. Like I overestimated how much I needed. So just doing that just really, I learned, and I also bring this back to like giving advice to other people. Like you don't need your whole room to come with you because the room is smaller than what you probably have at home. So it's like you shouldn't bring everything, and I brought everything, and that was really a challenge for me. So I just sent a lot of stuff back home. But yeah.
What is one thing that you would say you don't need that you might think you need, but leave it at home?
I wouldn't even say it's one thing, but it's one category. Okay. For me, I brought a lot of clothes and shoes, and it just wasn't needed. Like I literally brought every piece of clothing I had. Like it didn't make sense. But so I think that's one thing, is just like to not overestimate how many clothes you need, because with me, my life at home, I feel like I was always doing something. Well, I'm doing something every day here, but like to change clothes that much, it's just not needed. It's just not needed.
Would you like, I know like I did this thing where like, okay, you move in and it's like hot, it's like summertime basically, so you've got all your like kind of summer clothes, and then around, I don't know, like Halloween time, it starts to get colder. Go back home and kind of like switch it out.
I didn't, nobody told me that. Like, I didn't even consider doing that. And I also had that mindset where I was like, when I get to college, I'm not coming back. Right. So it was like, I'm taking everything. So, but now I know, like, I do that now, like, where I just kind of leave everything, not everything, but I leave, like, I swap out the clothes, kind of how you just explained it. Like, my hot stuff comes with me, and then I go home and switch it out. And then in spring, I kind of do the same thing. Like, probably the next few weeks, I'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so your first dorm, you're in PAR. What's the decor? What's the vibe?
The decor. So my roommate and I, we decided to go with, like, a purple and gray theme.
Ooh,
we kind of, we kind of wanted to be, we kind of wanted to be in unison with the color theme. I know some people do, like, a different theme from their sides, but we wanted to be, like, the same theme. So we went with purple and gray. I also do like paintings on the side, like artwork and stuff. So I made like this big painting for myself, and it was basically purple and gray.
Pretty.
I just happened to make it when we decided on the color scheme, which was very like, it was a big coincidence, but I happened to make it. I was like, I'm taking this with me. And I had a couple of art pieces with that on the wall. I probably had like string lights, kind of how you do on the wall right now.
Yes. String lights are like a dorm essential, right?
Yeah, because it just brings a relaxing vibe, and I really don't like main lights, like the
big
ceiling light. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
lamps,
string lights are very relaxing to me.
Yes, I completely agree.
I'm trying to remember like how my room looked. I think that was mainly like the decor. We had like our decorative pillows on the bed.
Yeah. Did you have like fridge, microwave, anything like that?
Yeah, so I brought the fridge and she brought the microwave.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just I'm trying to remember like how the room looked, but I think that was pretty much it. Like,
yeah,
we didn't really go into too much detail on the decorations, but we did enough. Like,
yeah.
So
I think what you're hitting on that is like probably a good like piece of advice or lesson or whatever is like coordinating on some like core essential stuff with your roommate. Like you said, like if you bring the microwave, I'll bring the fridge. Obviously I wouldn't necessarily think to cover that, but like, what if you show up with 2 fridges? Like, what are you gonna do with 2 fridges?
I think she also brought the TV too, so that was
you
good.
Had a TV in your dorm?
Yeah, we barely used it.
Oh,
so
really?
It's like, yeah, because it's like by the time we came back to our dorms, we weren't watching TV. We were ready to go to sleep.
Ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Some people in like those more freshman populated residence halls, and they're the room with the TV. Their door's always open, and they're just
that
like,
was us.
Come on in. Oh, so that was your room.
Yes.
You were the room of like the come hang out, watch TV,
Yeah.
like a family room style.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
What were you
our door
watching
was
on the
always
TV?
open. It was probably YouTube. I know those like days where we literally just weren't doing anything. We'd watch movies alone, like by ourselves, and like I just specifically remember we watched like the shark movie or something, and she was like, you know, the jump scares or whatever. She really was genuinely scared. Yeah, in a shark movie, I'm like, it's not really that
like a
scary,
CGI
but
shark.
yeah, I'm like, no. But I do remember that one time, like we just mainly like music if we're getting ready to go or something like that. But
Yeah, like getting ready vibes. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Those are special memories. Do you have a favorite memory in the residence halls?
In the residence halls, I would probably say like just always having our door open to our room. It was always like, I won't say like a party, but it was always like a hangout or everyone knew like our door was always open. So people just knock on it and come right in, and it'll be something new every day, like a new person every day too. So
kind of like a TV show living in
yeah, like when people just walk into the houses,
like,
that's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
So I think that I would say like it's not a specific memory, but just having those memories of people being like comfortable enough to just come in our room and just chill or ask us for advice or just talk to us, like that was probably a good part of it. So yeah,
that sounds like a nice environment. Oh, that's sweet. And also, like, I guess you're still making memories in residence halls, so maybe you know, you're still building on that. So you kind of mentioned roommates, coordinating with your roommate, setting up your dorm. How did you find your roommate or roommates, plural, possibly? Did you go random? Did you find them online?
Okay, so as far as my roommate, this is far back in memory, but I remember like in the process of like picking colleges and picking like at this point everybody has decided like what colleges they're going to, and like now we're in the roommate process, like who are we going to pick? So I know that there was this app, and it was kind of set up like Instagram, but it was literally just like a roommate matching app. I don't recall like the name of it, but that's pretty much how we found each other. Like, you kind of put in your roommate preferences, you make your own profile, and you kind of just scroll as if you're on Instagram.
Almost like a dating app. It sounds like.
Almost, yes. It was very similar. Like, the setup looked just like Instagram.
So
like,
funny. I wish I had that.
Yeah, it was really easy. So once we connected through there, we like got each other's contact information, and then we made sure we put in like the same answers. In the roommate selection part of like the admissions portal. So
you like
of the housing
steps.
portal. Yeah. So we made sure we got the exact match so that we
Yeah.
could get together. And then it just went from there. Like,
That's cool.
yeah, that's why I say, like, I don't know, my transition was kind of smooth. I really liked that app existed at the time because I really don't like random pickings and draws.
Yeah. I've done both. Well, not both, because you have this like digital tool that I like don't know where that was, if I missed it or what, but I really wish I had that app. I feel like people make like groups, like a Facebook group or like an Instagram group chat, like stuff like that to find people. I had someone like in high school that I like kind of knew them as a student in high school, but we both wanted to live in the same dorm, and we like got to talking. We're like, we should just be roommates. And that's how I had my freshman roommate. And then the next year, I think I ended up going random, and it actually worked out. She's like she's lovely. She's great. And I still like follow her and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's good. I know I hear like, when it comes to the random selections, I hear like two sides to everyone's story. Like, it's either bad or it's good. So I just don't want to take the chance. So
I mean, completely fair.
Yeah,
completely fair. But also, like, I don't know. I feel like freshman year at the very beginning, there's a shift somewhere where you're in the very beginning, you're very tied to your roommate, and you're kind of like buddies on a field trip or something, where you feel like you can only, maybe this is just my experience and what I saw, but
no, it definitely was a shift.
Yeah. And then after, like, I don't know, maybe around like Thanksgiving or something, by then you've just got, I don't know, more people in your life and more of a like established set of friends maybe, so you can kind of branch out. So
yeah, that's true. I think for me and my roommate, it was more so like second semester, maybe mid, or like, I know it probably was like right before spring break. So around this time, around there.
When you started to like kind of
kind of make that shift and kind of establish the actual like friend group that you have. She was still a part of it, but like I wouldn't say we were as close, because also like the academic side of college started to kick in for us. Yes, it starts to pick up, and it's like, all right, we have to focus. Lock in. So
yeah, classes pick up, you're finding your footing, you're probably finding yourself in more like RSOs and programs, and you're attending more stuff. I know housing, going back to like your internship, we mentioned all the stuff that housing does, programs, events, activities. Have you participated in any of these activities? Like, how have those experiences affected you and your journey on higher education?
I would say that I know that there's a housing group in PAR. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called EWIZO, but it's also part of the like central Black Housing.
Okay.
What is it called? Union, Central Black Housing Union. Sorry, I don't know. But it branches out into different other organizations. So I wouldn't consider it an RSO. It's more so like a housing organization. Okay. And it branches out for the different resident halls. It's multiple. But the one that was in PAR was EWIZO, I believe. Oh no, actually no, it wasn't. It was Solanco. So it was multiple. Like I said, it's a lot. So I think it was Solanco, and I think I went to maybe 2 or 3 events of theirs my first semester there, and it kind of just inspired me to like get more involved in RSOs, and not only just RSOs but in the community too, because the people that were in the roles like for the e-boards and stuff at that time, and you know, once second semester came around, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I did most of what I planned to do, and still am doing it now. So I even started like community service and stuff of that sort. Like, it just inspired me to get more involved, because I see people aren't just making college like all academic. It's kind of college's experience of just making it what you make it. Like, you have to come and you have to make those experiences for yourself. So I feel like that plays a part in it.
So these programs that you just mentioned, you also mentioned earlier that you were part of an early move-in program. Is that different from what this was?
It was. So
okay.
It didn't have anything to do with housing. It was actually under BNAC, which is the Bruce Nesbitt African American Cultural Center here. They have an early move-in program, which is called Circuit, and they basically just bring in like predominantly Black groups or like transfers or first years, just to like show them the campus before the campus life starts. Basically, they've done like programs where they take you to where your classes are to show you more of the campus, even to show you off campus. Like they've done things that we got on the bus and we went to go like explore the stores that are available to us if we need to go. They always provide food, so that was the thing too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they just gave us like more resources. Like you could also network with other students, like the older students that were here. Like they became mentors for us, and we became mentees in their mentorship program and things of that sort. It just gave us more resources as first years or transfers into the campus to like navigate through this campus. So
yeah. That sounds massively helpful and also really fun. Like I don't know if there was fun stuff like movie nights or things like that. They kind of
always have that. Like outside of the early move-in program, they always have it where they have like food for the soul Wednesdays, and you know, obviously food for the soul, but they also have like speakers come in and live music, live entertainment, things of that sort. They have like a annual barbecue. They have different events where people just come out and show out, honestly. Like, amazing. You know, yeah.
It's so nice that you get introduced to that like as soon as you're on campus, like the very first day. Did you make friends in that early move-in program?
I definitely did. That's what I was going to lead on to too. Like, I definitely established like those friend groups in that, and I still am holding on to a lot of people that I met through that group. So yeah, it was really helpful.
I've heard really good things about Circuit, and then they do like early movement. They like all combine, right?
So they have Circuit, but I believe La Casa has another program that's equivalent to it. I'm not sure of the name, but they've definitely collabed on like certain days during Circuit to I don't know, to get us acquainted or to like integrate the groups or so they've definitely done things with the other cultural centers. I know that La Casa always has their door open to everyone too. So that's just another way of networking and meeting other people too, just outside of like your own community. You can meet people from another community on campus. Yeah,
that's good advice. So overall, like big picture, you're a junior, so you've like been around campus for a while. You've lived in a couple of different residence halls and things like that. How do you think living in university housing has influenced your overall college experience?
I would say that it just taught me a new way to look at life. Just like my perspective on certain things, and also like certain groups of people. It just living in housing is a very diverse community, and you just learn how different people operate outside of your own household. Like, I had to adjust to that. Like I said, just living in PAR, I had to adjust to like people being night owls or people being early birds and just hearing a lot of screaming at night or whatever the case may be. Just people living their lives, and I have to adjust to people living their life while they have to adjust to me and how I live my life. Also, just how privileged we are, just being in a university and university housing too, because I've heard things where like at other schools people just don't get the same resources that we have. And even like I was talking about like the dining halls or the retail spaces, people have come here and was like, a retail space or like a market, what is this? Like,
that's how I felt.
So yeah, they were like, we don't have that, we just have a dining hall. So it's like just realizing how spoiled in the way that we are, it's definitely shifted my perspective on certain things. So I would say that that's pretty much, just shifting my perspective.
That's huge. And I mean, this is definitely the time to be gaining that perspective shift. It's like you're entering the real world as like a real adult, and you're like doing all these things, navigating life and like college and then a career and so on your own. That's a great foundation that you took away from that. So that's awesome. Kind of moving on to advice. If you could give advice to a new student moving into university housing for the first time, what would you say to them?
I don't want to quote like a Hannah Montana thing, but
oh my gosh,
sorry, I'm a Disney kid, but literally life is what you make it. But literally life is what you make it. And when I say that college is what you make it, because like, don't just, if you're like an introverted person like me, don't just sit in the dorm the first semester and say, I'm going to do this, and never get out there to do it. Like, you literally have to put yourself out there, whether it be like sitting in your school's like, what's the word? Like open areas, like sitting in Granger or sitting in the Biff, or going to those cultural centers and just sitting there. You're going to meet new people. You're also going to network, because me just sitting like in a cultural center, I've gained leadership opportunities just by knowing someone. So I think that, like I said, life is what you make it, college is what you make it, and you really just have to take advantage of the resources that are here. You also just put yourself out there, because me personally, I had a hard time putting myself out there, but once I did, I kind of got over that anxiety or that shyness, and just being here, like, I probably wouldn't have did 2 years ago. So
you've grown so much.
Yes, that's gonna definitely factor into your personal growth and just academic growth, or whatever the case may be. Honestly, like, it definitely plays a part in it. So
that's great advice. And honestly, like, that really made my day. The Hannah Montana quote, I love her.
Yes, I'm definitely a Disney kid. So
me too.
That was the first thing.
In my office, all the Disney stuff, like, sitting around. Oh my gosh. CyAnne, thank you so much. I love how you wrapped it up. Life's what you make it. So let's make it rock.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming back. I hope to have you back anytime. Amazing. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.